Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot Country with the weekly comic book roundup. We've covered this week's Marvel books as well as an entry from Boom Studios, and now it's on to this week's DC books. Kicking things off, we've got Shadow War Alpha. So, Shadow War is a crossover that we'll be running through Batman, Deathstroke Incorporated, and Robin. So, after Fear State, Batman took a sabbatical from Gotham and bumped into Lex in Bad-Ediza. Lex had bought Batman Incorporated, and yeah, he's kind of making his own, trying to do his own thing with science, with evil science. Not good science, but evil science. There's a difference. Though sadly he did kind of get away scot-free. Deathstroke had been recruited into an organization called Trust, alongside Black Canary, and turned out Trust was actually a front for a secret society of supervillains, and they were looking to recruit both Deathstroke and Black Canary. Deathstroke kind of was recruited in the fact that he killed the leader of the secret society and named himself leader, and has turned into Deathstroke Inc. So, meanwhile, Ravager, having left Lazarus Island after the conclusion of the Lazarus tournament, left the island with Respawn, a clone of Damian Wayne that happened to also have some of Slade Wilson, Deathstroke's DNA mixed in. But the whole idea was to try and stop whatever scheme it was that Deathstroke had. However, Deathstroke was convincing and managed to get Respawn to join him, and so yeah. So we begin with Ra's al Ghul reflecting on his past, namely his recent past. And watching his daughter Talia spar with his grandson Damian. In Gotham, Lockup has some parolees and intends to sell them into human slavery. But Batman catches him and makes sure the parolees go back to keep their parole officers. Meanwhile, it turns out that Ra's al Ghul and Talia are turning themselves in. Neither Ra's nor Damian seem too fond of this, especially Talia. Talia or Damian seem too fond of this, especially Talia. But the whole thing is they're going to turn themselves in at the Markovian embassy in Washington. But first, one of the demands for turning himself in that Ra's has asked for is basically making an address, getting to give a speech, telling about the Lazarus pits, and as he starts to say he's going to turn over the secret of the Lazarus pits, when he's shot through the head, seemingly by Deathstroke. Talia takes a round on the shoulder. Batman fights Deathstroke. However, Deathstroke has tossed a grenade over by Raish's body. Damian tries to save him. However, Batman pushes him out of the way as the grenade explodes, incinerating Ra's al Ghul's body. Nothing to put in the Lazarus pit. Damian is understandably angry at Batman. And even points out that he's now lost two grandfathers because of Bruce's choices. And then Batman says quite possibly the dumbest possible thing he could say, saying that he could have saved Alfred if he been there. But yeah, I'm sure that Damien feels pretty friggin' bad about that already. But Robin thinks he's going to find Deathstroke and bring him in, dead or alive. It seems that Talia is placed in the Lazarus pit. Well, was about to be, but rather than use the pit, she wants a doctor. Meanwhile, Deathstroke Society seems to be, or rather, not Deathstroke Society. League of Assassins has gotten their, well, the Demon Shadow has formed, basically the best of the League of Assassins, to go after Deathstroke and his family. Talia wants them all killed. In Zandia, the headquarters of Deathstroke Inc., the things are kind of in chaos after what's happened. But Slade states that he didn't do it. Watches the footage and says, "No, see, I haven't worn that outfit in years." He realizes that someone's setting him up. When the Demon's Shadow attacks, and that is where the issue ends. Good start to the crossover. As we continue next in Batman. A quick theory. My initial thought was that maybe it was that Talia was behind it, in kind of a ploy to take over the League of Assassins. But I'm actually starting to think that Lex and the Legion of Doom are actually behind all of it. So at the end of the last issue of Deathstroke Inc., Lex Luthor received a call from the Legion of Doom members, except for Joker. We wanted to know what's to be done about Deathstroke. And it seemed as though Luthor had a plan. Moving on, however, to actually act to, in all honesty, a holdover from last week. So I think what happened was I was trying to find the A cover to this, and all I could find on the shelf at my local shop was the B cover. So I didn't realize, and it didn't click with me that was the issue. But Teen Titans Academy, number 13, part 4 of the War for Earth 3. Where we'd left off, Johnny Quick, Flash, and Mirror Master had fought over the Cosmic Treadmill. If I remember correctly, Quick managed to get it, though Mirror Master managed to escape. Though for once that's kind of a good thing because Mirror Master was, on the side of good. So we start off. So what has Teen Titans Academy formed after the events of Dark Knight's Death Metal? Basically means it's a school for young superhumans. However, somebody infiltrated the school as the Red X, and well, yeah. the tower came tumbling down, and the Titans are on the run. So it's supposed to be rather secure, but Rick Flagg's Suicide Squad manages to break in thanks to Mirror Master. When the tower fell, also, it seems that Cyborg and Changeling were injured, and it seems that nothing can be done, but two of the students volunteer their help, and it seems they've got something that they can actually make it work and save both of them. But no leads on Red X. Then Flag's Suicide Squad comes through in the basement. Their whole thing is they're going to be going after the safe house's armory. And meanwhile, the Earth 8 Harley Quinn is trying to recruit students to help. Mirror Master and Bloodsport raid the armory. Arsenal attempts to stop them. Leads to a big fight. Nightwing and Starfire run into Captain Boomerang. And then Rick Flag shows up to inform Flash, Wally West, what's going on. But and because of that, they're able to stop the fight between the Titans and the rest of the squad, with Flag actually asking for help. But he explains what's going on, and so it's decided that the Titans will help, but it will be the Titans, not the Titans students. So they head to Earth 3. And it turns out, however, that a group of the students have stowed away on their ship. Which brings us to our next book, from actually from this week. We have the conclusion of the War for Earth 3 in War for Earth 3, number 2. So, Titans, Flag Squad, they're all on Earth 3 dealing with Waller's multiversal Suicide Squad. Power Ring gets possessed by Calibra. But the Titan students have been taken prisoner by, or went after Waller, and they ended up getting taken prisoner. But the squad and the Titans have managed to, at the very least, take some of Harley's people. Bloodsport's got a bead on Waller, but she has a way of making sure that he can't, by putting a human shield of his brothers around the building. Also, it seems some of the her neck bombs still work. Peacemaker and Ambushbug in the Fortress of Solitude, but Superwoman gets annoyed with Ambushbug and runs out on him. Brainiac 666 interrupts Match and Nocturna so that Waller can talk to them. Peacemaker, Flag, and Ambushbug find Ultraman at a zoo, just watching the giraffes. He thinks animals are simpler. They're uncomplicated. But Flag kind of goes through and explains that, basically convinces Ultraman to renege on his deal with Waller. Um, the combined forces of the Titans and the Squad go out, try to stop Waller, but Waller reveals she has a group of students held captive. Um, but Ultraman shows up, wrecking shit, and the Titans basically, since they have students in play, it's like, okay, we need to get the students back to Earth 1. And Waller simply says, by all means, take them, go home, just leave me alone. But Rick Flag doesn't trust Waller with the Phantom projector and breaks it. But Superwoman beats the hell out of Ultraman. Well, they beat the hell out of each other, actually. And Mirror Master and Ambush Bug constantly basically punch Ultraman all over the place. But they managed to make a Phantom Zone projector, and they use it on Ultraman. But Match and Nocturna and some of the others stick with Waller. Becoming her basically her Justice League. And as the story ends, the League flies off into action with Waller stating that she's always wanted a Justice League of her own. And just like that, Amanda Waller won. And that is where the story ends. War for 3 was kind of nice. I feel, by and large, there's been a lot of setup for some of the stories we saw in Future State early last year. War for Earth 3 in a lot of ways sets up the Future State Suicide Squad series. As you had Match, you had seemingly Connor Kent, Superboy, leading the Justice League, only it turned out to actually be the Justice League on Earth 3. And by and large, it was mostly villains working with masquerading as heroes, like Talon as Batman, and various others. I think one of the clay faces was Martian Manhunter, but yeah. Anyway, moving on to our next book, we've got DC vs. Vampires, number 6. Where we left off, the Justice League attacked the Batcave, and which led to Batman blowing up Wayne Manor. Also, it seemed that Superman had been weakened enough by fighting Batman, because Batman cheated with kryptonite, that Wonder Woman and Green Lantern were able to turn him. And the Suicide Squad was in Gotham looking for the Joker, who was presumed to be the Master Vampire. Only they ran into Batgirl. So, at safe house in Gotham Harbor, the Batman is getting patched up by the Bat family. Harley, Deadshot, and Boomerang are having to deal with Vampire Savant and Vampire King Shark. They tell Waller what's going on, and Waller detonates the head bombs. Only Harley forgets about the fact that Boomerang isn't a vampire, and so his neck bomb gets detonated too. Green Lantern and Wonder Woman come to the safe house to talk. And end up being taken prisoner. But and that works until Alfred cuts off Green Lantern's arm, which has his ring on it. But the Joker is found in the safe house, dead, drained of blood. So whoever the Master Vampire is, they are trying to leave clues that it's the Joker. But Ollie puts an arrow through Hal's chest, killing him. And Batgirl gets in touch with Batman, stating that the Master Vampire seems to be a member of the Bat family, which is then confirmed when Nightwing reveals himself to be the Master Vampire and kills Batman. Takes down the rest of the Bat family, beats the holy hell out of Tim Drake. And has Wonder Woman put. And while Jason Todd buys Green Arrow and the rest of the Bat family time to escape, Red Hood gets bitten by Wonder Woman, and then, with his last breath, says, "Do it, Archer." And an arrow comes through his chest. Kind of makes Dick sad because he wanted to turn one of his brothers, but it turns out that all the major institutions are being attacked by other superpowered vampires. Superman's destroying the White House. Firestorm is causing a firestorm. And there's not a lot of heroes that aren't. A lot of the heroes are already turned. But Nightwing declares the world to be theirs, and the eternal darkness has begun. And that is where the issue ends. How dare you? How dare you? I mean, Nightwing being the big... What the hell, man? I mean, he's Nightwing. He's like... I'd say the only DC hero more trusted than Nightwing in the DC universe is Superman. And it's kind of close. So, oh man, that's... Oof. And I'm guessing since the exposure to kryptonite is what made it so that Superman could be turned. Otherwise, I imagine that his all the yellow sunlight in his that's empowered him would kill whoever took the bite. But otherwise, good issue as always. So anyway, moving on to our last book for the week, we've got Batman: One Dark Night, Book 2. So where we left off, Batman was helping to escort a powered villain named EMP from a facility in Gotham to Blackgate, which Blackgate has set up a specially designed cell just to make sure that EMP can't let off an EMP. That said, he got loose and did so, knocking out all the power in Gotham. And Gotham is even more chaotic than usual. Various gangs are going after EMP, either to capture him or kill him. I mean, his gang's out there too, trying to find him, mainly just to rescue the boss. So the gangs are moving on the city. Batman is carrying a barely conscious EMP, trying to get him to Blackgate. Various gangs attack them. The cops are also having some problems because, EMP knocked out all of their vehicles, but it turns out that Detective Montoya is very badly injured to the point where she can't feel her legs. And then a city council member by the name of Vasquez basically leaves her in the car, unable to potentially fend off her attackers. Batman's doing what he can to try and get EMP to safety. Councilmember Vasquez starts looking around for Brody, presumably the son of EMP, who's escaped. But EMP has elusive moments, realizes that he screwed things up, he wants to fix it with his kid, but he gets shot. Batman still saves him, but yeah. EMP's gang is trying to find EMP. Brody is kind of watching. Batman is definitely having his share of issues getting EMP to Blackgate, namely in the form of Gotham's underworld. Deals with the part of the gang that has Brody's Guardian. But things are not looking good. And Brody, EMP's son, lets off another EMP in the city. But the whole thing, because Batman is like, keep moving, keep moving. The city's burning, and Batman is losing faith in Gotham because, well, we're at that point in the story. He finds the Bat plane, which got knocked out by the EMP, crashed, and go after the supplies in it, but and once again, EMP is injured. Some of his gang take him underground, and so Batman goes to save him, and that is where the issue ends. I'm liking One Dark Knight. I mean, yeah, it's more. I think it's one of those more asshole Batman stories, but it's still enjoyable. I feel like he is asshole Batman in this case is written a little bit better than usually, but that's going to do it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying live long and rock hard.